Okay, so welcome to Somatic Meditation. It is April 23rd or 24th. And today I have a kind of a short talk prepared up here to wrap up Aligned Awareness for April before we transition into our theme for, I'm going to just mute everybody. Before we transition into our theme for May, which is open acceptance. And then we're going to do our meditation, which I'm continuing to refine, that bringing together of the Yoga Nidra and the somatic meditation. So I'm continuing to work with how I want that to be. It's a work in progress right now. We didn't get to sitting up last week, did we? Didn't yet this morning either. We actually got further last week in our afternoon practice than we did this morning even. So just keep seeing how that unfolds. Yeah, so that's the plan for today. So we'll start with our centering and grounding, and then we'll go into the teaching talk, okay? So just begin by feeling your connection to the earth underneath you, whether that be through your feet or your sit bones, your seat. And open to the energy of the earth. Notice the qualities of the earth that are present for you. So you might sense the stability, the vastness and the openness, the stillness. The quietness. And just notice that as you begin to drop your awareness into your connection with the earth, that those qualities begin to open into your body and being. You can start to feel how they intermingle with you through your feet, through your body, and they even begin to start to animate your spine from the base of your spine up through your thoracic spine, opening up the back of your neck, opening up the back of your head, and there's a slight tuck that happens in your chin that draws your ears over your shoulders, unhinges your jaw, so that you feel that connection with yin, with earth energy, and yang, sky energy, as your elbows float directly underneath your shoulders. And just notice also what it's like to arrive in your body right now. Notice the points of tension, the way energy is moving through your body. And then feel your breath coming into your lower belly. And then just notice how the words of our mantra land for you in your body today. Remembering that I am intrinsically good without exception, and that I've been given this precious opportunity of my unique life. I find ways to engage in my daily practice in everyday life. When I open to the vastness, stillness, silence, peace, and stability of the earth, that vastness, stillness, silence, peace, and stability opens into my body and being. Remembering that my heart is open, tender, and responsive. I enter into my relationships as part of my everyday life. And then just taking a moment to acknowledge our relationship of community here and the time that you've taken to connect with our community and to connect with your practice, the relationship of your practice today. And also to acknowledge our relationship to the land on which we are standing and practicing right now, and the relationship that we have with the people that came before us. And so I acknowledge the ancestors of the land, and I encourage you to acknowledge the ancestors of your land. So for me, it's the Songhees and Esquimalt nations of the Coast Salish people. And we also bow to the lineage of teachers from the many traditions who light our way and the learning that we will engage in together today. And also taking a moment to give thanks to the gift of the chi, the prana, the life force energy that animates each one of our bodies, that comes from our ancestors, that will animate our practice together here today as well. And so each time we come together in community, we honor each other by recognizing that each one of us has access to our own internal wisdom. So I'm sure each one of you can sense that right now in this moment. And so we do that by practicing ahimsa. And the way we do that is by speaking from our own experience, using the words I instead of you, and knowing that each person here has access to their own internal wisdom. So we know there's no need to fix or change anybody here, that each person is precious and unique, and that they have access to their own internal wisdom. So recognizing the unique life of each person here and their own unique internal wisdom. So knowing there's no need to fix or change anybody. And then when you feel ready, we can come together in our circle here. Tim, if you wouldn't mind just muting my phone for me. Thanks. So this past few days, Stephanie's been here, and so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that experience as it relates to our theme of aligned awareness. So over the last month, we've been talking about aligned awareness. In a lot of ways, we've been talking about it in terms of external and internal energy. That was like a Freudian slip. I was going to say injury, but sometimes it feels that way, doesn't it, when the energy is coming from the outside? So we've been talking a lot about how energy that comes from the outside can feel overwhelming, and sometimes even just being outside in our day-to-day lives, it can energy can feel quite inundating, when you're at work, or when you're even just in a downtown area and there's a lot of advertising and sound and noise, or we've talked about social media too, the way that's horizontal energy that comes at you. And then we've talked a lot this month about how our practices bring us into our body and connect us with our vertical energy, and all the practices that we do that. And so what's been interesting to me over the last few days is having the experience of having my energy pulled up and out, because I'm spending a lot more time in relationship with another person, specifically Stephanie. And so just bringing my awareness to that experience in my body and how that's affecting me. And then the kind of internal alignment in the energy in my body is shifting and changing. And that's been interesting to pay attention to as well. And one of the things at the beginning of this month that I did when I met with the carriers of the teaching was I put all the chakra classes on the playlist for the DYC. And Nikki did put them on her challenge on April 9th to 15th, but still she really talked about it in terms of the external stimulus and the internal stimulus. The way I want to talk about it today is the way the energy can move through our body in a kind of uneven way, which I think we can make us feel out of alignment as well. And then we want to attend to that with our practices as well. So, and this is not that our time together hasn't been totally amazing. Okay. So over the last few days, normally I spend a lot of time today. I'm alone. I'm quite an introverted and quiet person, and I actually don't. Normally when I'm with other people, I'm very quiet. Actually, when I'm with other people, normally I don't speak a lot. I know you guys probably find that hard to believe too, because when you interact with me, I'm the one that talks a lot because I have the stage. And also, when I go out with Tim too, he tends to be the one to hold the conversation too. I tend to be quieter in those situations as well. So over the last 4 days with Stephanie, it's like we've had a lot of time to talk. And we actually share, unusually, we share that. I would say we share it like 50-50. Yeah, which is, that's unusual in a relationship too. Usually one person dominates. So the energy has been really up here in the throat chakra. And that takes energy, not just in terms of speaking, but the throat chakra also encompasses your ear chakras as well, right? So then there's a lot of energy around listening as well. So for me, I've felt a lot of energy come up right in and around here, right? So in terms of, normally I'm not a really big fan of the chakras. I think sometimes they can be in pop spirituality talked about in ways that are kind of surface level and like, okay, what you need to do to get what you want. But if we come into our bodies, we, in a very embodied, experienced way, know that there are times when we can feel our energy moving around that central channel, right? Like when you're at work or in a relationship with somebody and you can feel your power being usurped, you feel that right here in your belly, right? You feel that? When there's something a little off and the power just kind of gets drained or pulled from you, you feel that right in your belly. Or you get that gut feeling about something, that something's not right here. Yeah. Or if you spend a lot of time doing really heady work, you know, researching, or doing your taxes or on the computer a lot, then the energy comes all up here in your head, right? So this energy, the thing that I want us to reflect on is how it can move in a kind of imbalanced way along the central channel as well. And then we have practices too that bring it into a more balanced experience. So over the last 4 days, when I would spend, you know, God, we were spending like 12 hours together, just like blah, 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 right? It was just all here. So then it was, you know, it would take a lot of time to redistribute that energy back up and down, especially because it had come up so much. So I just, you know, wanted to, I think it was a really important awareness coming to the end of April to reflect that it's not just internal, external, but within our own internal environment that the energy does bring awareness to the way that energy does move around, and the way that we can note that, and we do have practices that in which we can attend to it. And it was very interesting this morning because many of us spoke about how it's not just a sort of temporary passing thing, that these things can tend to linger. So many of us spoke about how there's a kind of energy surge that comes forward, and it can stay with us kind of for a season, and we can attend to it in our practice, notice it in our embodied somatic meditation, and really that's almost all it needs is some attention, like, you know, how we do in 10 points, noticing the tension, noticing that extra energy. And over time, that extra energy, that tension does sort of dissolve, and you can kind of look back and see, oh, that's what was going on. It's not like we need to fix it, you know, but I do think there needs to be an awareness around it. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I'm going to open up the lines for you guys, because I think that this is something that we've all been through, and you might want to speak about your own experience about it. And then we'll go from there into our meditation practice. I'm just going to leave yours muted, Steph, but if you want it to come up, you could come up. And okay.
I'm Ivy from New York State, and I find it interesting in thinking back some years, how many times I allowed my power to be drawn from me, taken. And that was because at the time I did not have the awareness of what was happening and what rights I really had, and how I could stay grounded in myself. And I knew that I was all right, that I had done right. It just was a place of defensiveness, and put me off balance in many ways, emotionally and physically and so on. So I think it's a really interesting topic to think about.
I think that's a really good way of speaking about it too, is how it does make you feel off balance.
Mhm.
Mhm. I'm curious, Maria, how it is for you, how you experience this at work, or if you experience this at work.
I was just gonna say, hi, I'm Maria from New Jersey. Last spring, um, we went through a period, like I think it was all spring actually. Like it started in the spring and it went all the way to almost the middle of the summer, where the energy around me was just so stressful, and I always felt off center the whole that whole time. Off center and just not able to connect, with a central channel, with with my inner peace again. It stuck around for a while until it eased up, and it was just the energy at work. I mean, things were chaotic, too many people. It's all the energy that was around me on a day-to-day basis, and it took a long time just keeping to my practice, keeping to the meditation, and just trying to center myself every day for it to even work itself to where I felt, at peace again. But it took a long time.
Mhm.
And when I look back, I realized that it was just that. It was the energy around me that was just so chaotic all the time. And the stress of everything, of just work.
Do you find that you feel like a surge of energy at a certain point in your body?
But it goes into my stomach, and I feel it, like the stress, and it's all in my chest.
In
I
your
just feel like
chest?
that compression,
Mhm.
and then I mean I've felt it as well. Like if I'm working too much, and I'll get a headache from so much
Yeah.
information that's you know I'm doing too much, and it's just it'll happen. I mean, I won't have a headache in the beginning of the day, but by the end of the day I'll have a headache because of so much energy coming in through my head
Mhm.
as well.
So stomach, chest, and head.
Yeah.
Energy accumulation. Mhm.
Yeah. But it takes a long time for it to even, settle.
Yeah.
I don't find the same thing this year. This year things are a little bit more settled than they were last year. I mean, everything changes. It's never the same.
Yes. In your body or at work?
In my body as well, because of the practices that I'm keeping to, and I'm trying not to let, the energy around me accumulate as much.
It's not landing in the same way.
No. I mean, I'll still get a headache if I'm, if I'm doing too much, but it's not the same as, I really have to attend to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I also have to, like, if things get overwhelming, I don't be quiet anymore. I mean, I actually tell people to stop and just.
Right.
Yes.
That's a change.
That's a big change.
How did you notice it, Shar, when you started your new work? And you work one-on-one with people too.
Probably because they're developmentally disabled. There's a lot of different, personalities and a lot of different energies, just like any place else. But it was just very different for me going into that field, something I was not familiar with. And I think I'm generally not quiet, but I'm quiet sometimes when I'm uncomfortable. And I think that really got me, because I wasn't familiar and really comfortable there, at first, I noticed that it was just, everything felt like disoriented to me in my whole body. So like I was very unsettled and unbalanced. And but now it's been almost 4 months. So I'm feeling much more comfortable and more aligned with myself and them as well.
So I'm guessing then, and you can maybe correct me if I'm guessing wrong, but it sounds like rather than an energy surge, it felt more like an energy vacuum, or kind of like a,
yeah, yeah, more like that, yes.
Yeah, that was throwing you off balance. It's like there wasn't enough there. Yeah.
Correct.
Mm.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to chime in because I think it's important to say that for me, when I feel my throat chakra feeling very tight and overwhelmed, I know that it's a chance or an opportunity for me to speak some unspoken words or speak my truth. There's something that needs to be told to somebody, and I usually meditate on what that is, and then take that opportunity to sort of fill myself up with feelings of kindness and compassion for that person, and then decide whether it's important for me at that time to speak my truth directly, or to write down what I would say to that person, speak that out loud, even if not directly to that person. And then I usually then feel a real release in my throat chakra, because I'm really in tune with my energy centers myself. As far as the past 4 days, my relationships are very much the same at home. I'm very much the quiet side of the conversation. I tend to like conversations where the other person is much more boisterous and conversationalist, because then it takes the pressure off of me. I'm quite happy to let that. I will never be the person to cut you off. I'm quite happy to let you take over the conversation, which leaves me a little bit depleted, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, so for me, over the last 4 days, it's been like, the experience has been like it feels like an energetic excess in this area that I don't normally feel. Yeah.
But I don't feel it because we've been doing such grounding things that I feel a lot of, for me.
I always do those things.
I know.
So you've had that balance.
Pull down, yes. And I don't feel in my head at all. I feel super grounded right now. My energy is super calm and super chill, So to hear this is really interesting for me, because it's just another variation as to where people's energy goes. And I'm fascinated by it all. And I love that.
Yeah, it's not like so it's just like, for me, I think it's interesting to pay attention to where the excess and like Shar, I think, brought up a really interesting point, which was a feeling of deficiency too, right?
Yes.
So without even I don't even really want to get into the words like blockages, right? But just to pay attention to where there's a feeling of like surge or deficient, like almost like we were talking about vortexes yesterday, right? So Shara explained more of like a kind of a vortex. So let's use words that we use a lot in yin yoga. yin and yang. So this has been very yang over the last 4 days. Whereas I'm so comfortable hanging out in the yin space. You talk to me, I'll listen all day, right?
Yeah, when you get two of us together like that, it's magical because
it's asking us to be way more balanced than we usually are, which is just different. Like Shar was saying, it's just different. So it's asking us to experience something different. And then that energy just takes time to balance out. And so I think that when we go through these periods in our lives, like we were talking about in the morning, where there's a shift in energy, like Paige and myself and Linda were all talking about this kind of, and I read a poem this morning, and I read it to you just before now, this energy kind of around our solar plexus, our heart, that's really just coming. Maria, you were kind of talking about it as well. It's making itself known, that it can take some time for it to settle, balance, you know, the yin and the yang to intermingle. And that's just okay. Yeah. Anything else bubbling to the surface right now? Shall we practice?
Yeah.
Okay, so get yourselves super comfy. You want to have a blanket under you. You may want to at least have a blanket available so that it can be on top of you as well, because your body will tend to cool over time. You might want to have an eye pillow over top of you, over top of your eyes. And the bolster underneath your knees would be good for this practice. Make yourself as comfortable as possible. Let your chin be slightly lower than your forehead so that you're accessing your parasympathetic nervous system. We're going to be resting in awareness. You don't need to try to stay awake or go deep. You may fall asleep, and that's completely okay. And as you practice today, simply be open to your own experience, letting go of outcome. When you feel, we're just lying down, Delia, we just started. When you feel discomfort, know that it's not a problem. Welcome discomfort and any resistance. If discomfort persists, you can feel free to adjust your position, and know that you can also step away from the practice if you become overwhelmed at any point. And if you find yourself becoming distracted in any way, let the distraction be a beautiful meditation bell to bring yourself back to your practice. And throughout this meditation, just let my words wash over you. Don't worry if you miss any of them. And if you're not resonating with my chosen words, you can choose to be with the wisdom of your own experience. Let your palms be hands down on your belly, your elbows heavy on the ground. Feel your 2 feet, the 2 sides of your buttocks, your mid back, your 2 shoulder blades, your 2 elbows, the back of your head on the ground. Feel the support of the earth underneath you and allow your body to settle, letting yourself relax into the earth. And feeling the earth underneath you, upholding you and supporting you. And surrender all the senses that track and scan your outer world. And open all of your internal senses, the ones that intuit and go with the flow. Become aware of the space of the room around you, the space to the left of your body, the space to the right of your body, the space above your body. Feel the weight of your eye pillow, the darkness that envelops your perception. And welcome your inner vision. Notice your ears and listen to the layers of sounds, the ones that they can hear far, far away, and then follow the sounds closer in. All the way into the sound of your own breathing. And then become aware of your breath at your nostrils. And notice your skin, the feeling of clothes touching skin, the texture, and knowing that your skin is your largest organ. Every single pore of your skin can breathe. start to open your awareness to the way that every single pore of your skin is breathing. And then follow your breath in through the pores of your skin into your body. So breathing in through the pores of your skin, follow your breath into your body. Following your breath in through the pores of your skin into your body. Following your breath in through the pores of your skin into your body, allow your breath to lead you to tension. Any tension or gripping or holding. So notice that following your breath in through the pores of your skin is not something you have to do. It's something that's already happening. You simply have to observe it. Following your breath through all the pores of your skin into your body. Allowing tension to reveal itself. And noticing that the tension that reveals itself shifts and changes, morphs. Sometimes you're led to tension in different parts of your body, but that it doesn't stay the same. Following your breath through all the pores of your skin into your body, beyond what you think about your body, into the limitless space of your body, letting tension reveal itself. Following the dissolution of tension down through the layers of your body into the earth. Letting tension release and dissolve down into the earth. Following your breath in through the pores of your skin into your body, allowing tension to reveal itself, and observing how the tension shifts and changes, morphs, moves in the body, and how tension dissolves, releases, melts, lets go into the earth. And then visualize a point midway between your perineum and navel, about 3 inches below your navel, closer towards the back of your spine. An open space, maybe about the size of a chicken egg or a goose egg. And allow your breath to come into the center of that space. So we're not drawing our breath down in through our nostrils, down through the airways, or trying to breathe from the outside at all. Just noticing the space and breathing directly into that space. So on the in-breath, breathing right into that point. And as you breathe in, noticing how that space opens up in the lower belly. So breathing into the lower belly and letting your body completely relax around that space. Your belly is relaxing, your sacrum is relaxing, your hips are relaxing, your legs are relaxing, your torso is relaxing, and your breath is coming in a very gentle, very peaceful way. And you make space for your whole body to relax around it. Let your attention rest in the space in the lower belly as you breathe directly into your lower belly. And as you breathe in, notice how the space continually opens up around it. So with each breath, you are becoming more and more present in the lower belly. And as you become more and more present in the lower belly, you let go of the outside more and more. The more the outside releases as you stay within the space of the lower belly. And with each breath in, the space opens a little bit more. Any kind of obstacles, any thoughts, any distractions move out of that space, dissolves outward. And the space becomes more and more pure, more and more empty, more and more peaceful, more and more dark, opening out, getting bigger and bigger. And as you follow your breath into the center of the space, your awareness, your consciousness, your entire sense of self can dissolve and let go into the lower belly. You may feel a softness, a fluidity in this space. And when your mind wanders, just simply come back and follow your breath into the space, into this open, dark, warm space. so that the whole body and everything going on relaxes and dissolves into the lower belly as you breathe in. There's a sense of folding your entire body into the yin space. And then open the space at the back of the lower belly. And let your awareness open and descend into the earth. So on your breath out, opening the space in the back of the lower belly and the back of the pelvis. And as you breathe out, follow your breath as it descends and opens down and into the earth. So as you breathe out, follow your breath into the earth from that space in the lower belly. And let your awareness stay down and in the earth. And then each time you breathe out, let your awareness drop and open a little bit further. And each time you breathe out, your awareness goes down and out, opens and widens deeper and further. It's like a snowflake descending on a dark winter night. And you just keep dropping and opening, dropping and opening, like a feather floating down and down and down. And just see what this space feels like to you as you descend. Notice the deeper that you go down into the earth, the more relaxed you might start to feel, the less there's gripping on the tension in the body on the surface. So just be with the sensations. Stay with the process of descending on and on. So this is not the earth that we learn about in school, not the rocks and the soil and the geological features, but we're letting go of all those ideas we have about the earth, just dropping our awareness down, opening the back of the body, and feeling the empty, peaceful, dark, warm, reassuring space. Noticing how open, how accepting, how accommodating everything is here. Breathing out, dropping and opening. And feeling the warmth from the depth that's meeting you as you descend on and on. And then take a few moments and then gather yourself up, and we're going to do a bit of sitting practice today too. So take a few moments, stay connected to the earth, the depths of the earth, stay in your body, and then come to a comfortable seated position. That can be sitting on a meditation cushion, can be sitting in a chair, it can be kneeling on some blocks. So see what works for you in your body today. So when you sit on your cushion or on your chair or on your blocks, you want to sit in such a way that you feel the earth underneath you. So feel your buttocks, connect with the earth. Feel your pelvic floor, connect with the earth. Personally, your knees should be on the ground. If they're not on the ground, use your blanket or a couple of cushions underneath to support you. So your hips should be higher than your knees. Your pelvic floor connected to the cushions, so that's your connection to the earth. And your pelvis tips just slightly forward, so you have that connection with your pelvic floor and the cushion. Your knees are resting on the ground so that you've got that really stable base through your legs, your pelvic floor, your buttocks. And just check in with your psoas muscle, your inner thighs, your upper thighs. Does the whole base of your legs, your lower body feel relaxed? And it's probably going to be most comfortable to have one leg in front of the other. When you tip your pelvis slightly forward, it will bring your lumbar spine or your low back with it. This is the natural position of your lumbar spine. And then your thoracic spine is able to assume a slight natural curve backwards. And your cervical spine will come forward slightly so that your head's able to balance on top. It also creates an even relationship between your upper and lower body. So your upper body can come into an effortless place of balance. And we just want to make sure the length of your front body matches the length of your back body. So there's maximum space for your internal organs to settle. Your breathing can open. So let's just take a moment here to roll your pelvis over your leg bones by rocking your spine forward and back. So that you can find a place where you feel relaxed, softness, ease, vibratory flow, a condition of natural awareness, a place of relaxed alertness. And you're going to feel this along your central channel. So along the spine, right at the back of the spine, just in front of the back of the spine. So when you feel that space along the back of the spine, about the diameter of a quarter, open up, you'll feel it open. Then you found that sweet spot where it just goes, oh. And then you can rock side to side slightly too. Come out of balance and come into balance. So on a very subtle level, we're doing what we talked about at the beginning in the opening talk today, but on a very subtle level. So you can rock forward and back, side to side, finding that balance where the central channel just opens up. There's a sense of opening. The energy can move along the central channel. You begin to experience the buoyant support of gravity. The placement of your hands depends on the length of your arms and torso. If you have long arms and a short torso, then you're going to cup your hands in your lap. But if you, otherwise, most people are going to place their hands on their lap, your elbows directly underneath your shoulders. And then let's just check in with the upper spine again, opening up through the back of your head, and feel how that opens up the back of your neck. That slight tuck in your chin, unhinging your jaw, tongue floats. And then let's just breathe in through all the pores of our skin, following your breath into your body, allowing your body to reveal its tension, noticing places where your body's tensing itself to maintain the uprightness of your posture. And when you notice this tension, let that tension go just the same way you did as when you were lying down. Let it dissolve down through your buttocks, through your legs, and into the earth. And notice what happens to your posture. Breathing in through all the pores of your skin, following your breath into your body, letting tension reveal itself. And following the tension as it dissolves down through your torso, through your pelvis, through your legs, and into the earth. And then feeling your breath coming into your lower belly. That space towards the back of the spine, and allowing the space around the breath coming into the lower belly to soften and open. Following that softening and opening down and out into the depths of the earth, descending down and out, feeling the vastness and the openness in the depths of the earth, opening down and out, down and out. Breathing into the yin space in the lower belly, softening the space around it. Breathing out, opening down and out into the depths of the earth. And then picking a point from in the earth, breathing up from the earth. You may have to adjust your position of your spine to find that openness along the central channel again. Breathing up from the earth, up from the lower belly. Allow that breath to come gradually up from the earth and from that space in the lower belly. Start to come up through the central channel as well. Okay, so we'll start to come back to our circle now. Welcome, Delia.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. I kind of almost got it all in today, but do you guys know what I missed?
Points?
Well, I did a free form 10 points.
I passed out a little bit.
Who said they passed out a little bit? Rhea? Yeah. It's an unfair question then. I missed tracing the awareness through the body, but that part, you knew, yeah. But I know exactly how I want it all to go now. How I want to bring it all together now. I think I can do it now. I think it's a really nice fusion.
I like the sitting at the end. It was very, my body is so relaxed that I just sit there so well.
I was really, really resistant to be in my body today
Mm-hmm.
until we got to the earth descent part, and then it just opened right up.
Really?
And I know, it was just such resistance. And then that happens, and I kept that open connection to sitting up, and yeah. That's how it went.
I think that experience really speaks to staying with your agreed upon time for practice.
Yeah. Because I wanted to bail.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anything else anybody wants to speak about their experience today?
I was trying to focus a lot into what was pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. What I was doing, and trying not to get engaged in, in grasping at it.
Mm.
I was when we started the descent, somehow I felt a little creepy about it. It was scary.
Mm.
And when I felt that it was unpleasant, I thought, well, maybe there's another opening there on the back of my back, of my spine.
Mm.
And then I felt that it was opening into the universe.
Mm-hmm.
So filled with stars as opposed to darkness.
Mm.
So that really relieved that fear. And that helped me. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the intent with Earth Descent really is to open to spaciousness and emptiness. So.
Mm-hmm.
But Earth Descent does bring us up against all sorts of things as well.
Yeah.
Anything else that feels like it wants to be expressed at this time? Okay, well, thank you so much for your practice today, everybody, and for your presence here. Just want to acknowledge you for making this space in your life and for being here for each other and for your dedication to your practice. So thank you. And I'll see you on the forum this week, and I will see you next Monday.
Yes.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.